Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm Urvashi, and today in this video I'm going to be talking about 3 important transits in the month of September. I've already made a video on the monthly horoscope for the month of September, and I'm going to give the link of that video in the description below in case you haven't seen it, and I will give the link at the end of this video as well if you haven't seen it. So in this video I'm going to stick to 3 important planets and their transit for the month of September. First is Mars going retrograde on the 10th of September. Second is Jupiter going direct on the 13th, and the third is Saturn going direct on the 29th. So this is all about one going into retrograde motion, the other two coming back into direct motion. So what is retrogression and what is direct? So does this really happen? Do the planets suddenly stop and go backwards? Of course, we all know that they don't. But that is how they are seen when we observe them from the Earth. So it's a relative motion that is seen from the Earth. This appear to then suddenly start going backward. But what is important is that it is those periods when those planets are much closer to the Earth. The energy is much stronger, but they seem to be going in the reverse direction. So what is special astrologically about these events is that such an energy is a more internalized energy. It's more intrinsic. Whatever the energy related to these planets becomes more intrinsic when a planet is retrograde. There is less expression outside of that energy, and there is more analysis, there's more internalization. The instincts related to that planet are more, we analyze those instincts more, and we do not act on those instincts more. So like for instance, Mars is going retrograde on the 10th. So before I even start with the retrogression, there is one very important thing that I would like to share with Aries, Scorpio, Capricorn, Aquarius, Sagittarius and Pisces ascendant people, and Cancer, Leo people, Cancer, Leo ascendants that have their ascendant lord in these 6 signs. So this month is extremely special for these 6 ascendants, and there is a great opportunity for these 6 ascendants in this month. I will talk about that at the end of the video, so stay on. But before that, let me talk a little bit about retrogression. What is retrogression? Retrogression is the planet is much closer to the Earth, and every year we'll observe between April and August, Saturn and Jupiter go retrograde. Every year I've noticed, every year you'll realize that there are these few months when these 2 planets go retrograde. So the energy connected to this planet is at that time more internalized. There is less outward show of that energy, there's less outward feel of that energy. So Jupiter is the planet for wisdom, joy and luck factor. So you will have felt in the last few months that luck has not been so much on our sides, and we've had to create luck sometimes, So Jupiter is the planet of wisdom. So in these 4 months, wisdom planning, all your planning is based on wisdom. So you may have even felt or gone back to recheck your plans. You may have sometimes doubted your own wisdom. So it's like reassessing a situation. So that is what retrogrades are about. You are supposed to do that. So you can't just keep moving forward, You have to always stop and look back as to what you're doing, where you want to be and where you are currently, and if what you're currently doing is going to take you where you want to be or where you aspire to be. That is what these retrogrades are about. They happen every year. Saturn, Jupiter, every year. We are supposed to stop and reassess, and I hope all of us have done that. Jupiter is for wisdom, knowledge, luck. So we should all have stopped. I'm sure we felt the absence of luck, and I'm sure many of us would have assessed, reassessed, revisited our plans, whatever plans we have, whatever we are planning, whether they are good enough, whether they are in the right direction, whether they follow dharma, whether we are on the path of dharma, because Jupiter is also the planet for dharma. So we get a chance every few months to reassess whether we are on the right track. But then luck seems to be missing a little bit. It's a time for reassessing. It's not a time for moving forward. So things sometimes would feel as if they've halted. So, and Saturn Saturn is the planet for responsibility, continuity. Saturn is the natural lord of the 10th and 11th house for status, position, whatever your aims are, whatever you want to achieve in your life, materialistic things, the natural 11th house, the natural 10th house. How responsible, how dedicated you related to those things, whether what you are doing currently is going to take you towards those long-term plans, ambitions. That is what Saturn is all about. So you may have felt, sometimes we tend to be inconsistent when Saturn goes retrograde. Sometimes we tend to work harder than usual and we do not get the results, because it's actually a time to, stand back, to stop a little bit, to stand back and to assess whether whatever we are doing, our daily routine, it is the significant of the 6th house, whether our daily routine, whether our daily actions, our daily plans, whether we are dedicated and responsible enough, whether we are moving towards the 10th and the 11th house. So sometimes we will not get the results of action so much in a new project when a planet is retrograde, because we are supposed to reassess. Similarly, Jupiter retrograde, we will start doubting our own plans. We will start wondering if this is the right thing to do. Lots of questions related to your responsibility will come up in Jupiter's retrograde. You may have certain plans and some, certain activities will come up, certain things, certain events will come up which will make you realize that you have certain responsibility elsewhere, and you will have to reassess your plan and maybe make new plans, maybe think about what you're doing and what you should be doing. So that could have happened with many of you. In fact, I'm sure all of us have had at some point, in some way, reassessed situations, careers, relationships, and maybe made better plans, maybe have already made certain changes related to our long-term plans. Maybe we are now more aligned to our responsibilities now. So this is the time for getting aligned to our responsibilities when planets are retrograde. But the time is getting over now. Both Jupiter and Saturn are going to be direct. Jupiter on the 13th, Saturn on the 29th. And so it's time to move ahead again, I hope, with better plans, more aligned with our responsibilities in life. Because that is what it is about, getting aligned to our responsibilities, not just having our own plans. We need to align those plans to our responsibilities and duties. Now Mars is getting retrograde. What is Mars? Mars is our motivation, Mars is our desire, Mars is our anger, our aggression, Mars is our energy. So suddenly when Mars gets retrograded, when Mars goes into retrograde motion on the 10th, we may feel a lack of energy, a lack of enthusiasm, little less motivated. We may start questioning our desires. We may not be very expressive in our, emotions such as anger. Some instincts that are connected to Mars, we may not be very expressive about it. So especially since it's in Aries, Aries is a very independent sign. It's a sign where, about being self-employed, being independent, about leading or going somewhere, leading someone, being the leader. That is what Aries is all about. So with retrograde Mars, one may not be able to do such projects where you are a leader, where you are initiating something, where you're being independent. So especially if you are starting a new venture, you may suddenly feel that the brakes have been put on. The energy is going to be now more internalized. Your anger, you may not show your anger too much. There could be more frustration. There could be increased impatience that you may feel, because you're going to be internalizing the energy rather than expressing it outwards. So it's the best ways. We should not, of course, keep internalizing anger. It's the best ways to talk to others, to be more connected to our friends and families, to be a little creative where we can express our emotions better. So use creativity, use relationships. So Venus is a good option here. Creativity and relationships help vent out that, those emotions that are sometimes cooped up inside of ourselves. So it's not a great thing to have all those emotions cooped up, but it will be a natural tendency for the next few months till Mars is retrograde. So till this is about the 13th of November that Mars will be retrograde till. I will give you the dates in the description below. I may get a little mixed up when talking. So Mars is going to be retrograde about from the 10th of September to about the 13th of November. So you may feel that emotions are more cooped up, you're not being very expressive, you're not feeling very confident, you're not feeling very independent. Any independent ventures that you have, any new projects that you have, any initiatives that you're taking, you may start questioning. The question is going to be what you want to do and what you should do. That is the question that is going to be in all our minds. What do I really want to do? And what should I be doing? Because Mars is your energy. Where am I putting my energy and where should I be putting my energy? That is going to be the question. Like with the Jupiter retrograde, it's like, what are my plans? Are my plans good enough? With the Saturn retrograde, are my plans, is my daily routine aligned to my aims? So the 11th house of gains and the 10th house of status is what is the aim. Is my daily routine, am I responsible enough? Is my action aligned to that? Jupiter, is my wisdom aligned to my responsibilities? Thankfully, Jupiter Saturn now will be direct, but Mars, what do I want? What should I want? Or where should I be? What should I be aiming for? Where should I put my action? Where do I want to put my action? That is the question with Mars retrograde. That is the question that we will ask ourselves. So now Jupiter and Saturn, we already know Jupiter is direct in Sagittarius now, and Saturn is going to be direct in Capricorn. I already made a video of Saturn in Capricorn. I will give the link below in the description if you want to watch that video about Saturn in Capricorn. Retrogression just stops everything. Now we will get the effect of Saturn in Capricorn. Similarly, Jupiter in Sagittarius is for 2 months. I already made a video on Jupiter in Sagittarius. Then I made a video on Jupiter being retrograde back in Sagittarius. So I will give the links below if you guys want to watch that video. But generally, I hope you guys understand what retrogression and direct motion is about. But Mars is now retrograde. So the question is, what do I want? Where do I want to put my energy and where should I? What is the right thing to do? A question mark on your motivation, a question mark on your anger issues. It's a good time to, it's a good time to connect with your inner self and realign the way you express your anger, or change yourself a bit where you express your anger and your emotions. Or if you're very aggressive, it's a good time to connect with yourself and just learn to use that energy in a positive way. Instead of always being angry and venting out your emotions, that energy can be harnessed for better things. So it's a good time to understand that. So how to use this energy, you can best understand when the planet is retrograde. But if you try and use this energy outwardly for new ventures, you may feel you are not very energetic, you're not very confident, you're not very independent, that kind of a thing. So quickly I will just talk about all the ascendants. For Aries, this is the ascendant lord and the 8th lord. Generally, lack of energy may be felt by you. Lack of confidence. More effort. For Taurus, this is the 7th house and the 12th house. Relationship issues. Especially the 12th house. Expenditure, travel, that may also bother you. You may feel a lack of energy in that area. With relationships, you may feel more effort is required. Gemini, it's the 11th house and the 6th house. Retrograde in the 11th house. Still better, not directly impacting the lagna or any particular relationship, but more effort in your daily routine. More effort for your ambitions. Cancer, this is the 5th house and your 10th house. More effort with children. Career may feel, lots of obstacles. Slow down in career. Leo, 9th house and 4th house. where your philosophy, where your faith is concerned, more questions in your mind. Where your peace of heart, peace of mind is concerned, more questions, little disturbance. Virgo, 3rd house and 8th house. Disturbance in relationships, because it's the 8th house, the growth of relationships. Disturbance in your personal life, in the financial, in your financial status as well. Libra, this is the 7th house, Mars retrograde. Lots of changes in relationships, lots of changes, reassess in relationships. You need to sit and think rather than react. Rather than being impatient, learn to use this energy. Scorpio, in your 6th house, more effort, lesser results. Every day, more effort, lesser results. Sagittarius, in your 5th house and 12th house. With your children, with creativity, there can be frustration. 5th house, malefic retrograde, love relationships, frustration. 4th house, 11th house, home, peace, there can be a disturbance there. Having a retrograde planet there, more effort to bring in that peace. Aquarius, 3rd house and 10th house. In your career, more effort. Definitely more effort in your career and lesser result. Pisces, 2nd house, 9th house. For wealth in the family, more effort in the family. More analysis about ways to make wealth. More analysis on business. Issues at home, frustration, sometimes being a little hasty where your speech is concerned. So this could be the general feeling for all these ascendants, but we will all feel it because this is Aries, the 1st house. In our confidence, in our independent selves, in our ability to assert ourselves, we will feel a dampening. There will be a lot of hesitation. There could be a lack of confidence. Now let me talk about what I really wanted to talk about in this video. For these 6 ascendants that I talked about, for Aries and Scorpio, the date 9th and 10th is extremely important for you because Mars is going to be stationary in Aries at 0 speed. Utilize this energy for meditation. It will spiritually really help you evolve. We do a lot of pujas, we do a lot of mantra jap, but these 2 days for Aries and Scorpio ascendant people, these 2 days when the ascendant lord is stationary, are important days for spiritual activities and meditation. For Sagittarius and Pisces, it's the 11th to the 15th. The 11th to the 15th of September, Jupiter is going to be almost at a 0 speed. Important days for you, for any spiritual activity, especially meditation. For Capricorn and Aquarius people, from the 24th to the 3rd of October, 24th September, 3rd of October, important days. Saturn is going to be stationary at 0 speed. Important days for spiritual activities, evolving spiritually yourself. So be better people. So these days are important for these ascendants. Whatever activities they do, whatever spiritual activities they do, like meditation, will give them manifold results, huge results. So these are the important dates for these people. And for Cancer and Leo, because your ascendant lord is never retrograde, it's never stationary. So if your Lagna lord is posited in these 6 signs, in Aries, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Pisces, Capricorn, Aquarius, then that planet, that particular planet, when it is on 0 speed, when it is stationary, that is the time for you to utilize for spiritual activities. So it's a great month to spiritually uplift ourselves. Let's not waste this time. We'll be seeing you in the next video. Bye bye for now.